So today was decision day for the apartment complex and their corporate office and what they're going to do in regards to the outrageous fee that they wanted to charge my husband and I for leaving the apartment complex and the carpets they claimed had a stain on them. For those of you who may not know what I'm talking about, I'm going to give you a little baby recap. We were at an apartment complex for over 3 years. We have a 80-pound golden doodle who was also in that apartment complex with us, along with our teenage daughter. And when we moved into the apartment complex, we put down a $500 security deposit, a $500 pet fee, and every single month we paid our rent, we paid for a garage, we paid $35 in pet fee every single month, no clue what that went towards, and we paid for a valet trash service, which we never used but still had to pay for. And every year that we renewed our lease, we ended up paying more and more for maintenance fees, for pools that were broken, pumps that didn't work, for hallways that weren't being vacuumed or cleaned, for walkways that had dog crap all over it, for balconies that had grills on them when it's against the rules, for smoke in the air, even though it's a non-smoking apartment complex, for grocery carts in our buildings, all kinds of things, right? We were there for 3 years, not to mention the leaky ceiling above our master shower from the apartment above us that was causing green and black mold for months and months on end that was never really fully rectified. Instead of cutting out the drywall in the ceiling, they decided to just paint over it and pretend like it never happened. And when we moved out, we requested a final walk of the apartment so that we could make sure to get our security deposit back and make sure everything was good, because we've been very good renters for over 3 years. And on this final walk, I was not part of it. Neither was my husband. The assistant manager of the apartment complex went on the final walk without us. And this is after we had it professionally cleaned, because when we told them that we were going to move out, they presented us with a packet of information on what needed to be done in order not to be nickel and dime to death on the move out. You had to make sure that the carpets were clean. The apartment complex offered to clean them for us for $100 a room. We had 3 rooms with carpet. That's $300, when the professional cleaning team was going to do it for $65 a room. I chose the professionals over the lady who couldn't even figure out how to vacuum the hallways of the apartment complex, let alone come in and me expect her to do a decent job in the apartment so that we could break our lease without any fees or anything, right? So we have the apartment professionally cleaned, everything like that. Here's the kicker. I just want to jump off a little bit and let you know that I spoke to the cleaning company today, the girl that did the cleaning of the apartment. I called and I said, hey, let me ask you a question. Do you remember this apartment? And she said, yeah, I do. She said, I was actually going to tell the owner of the cleaning company that they should refund your pet fee that they charge for cleaning apartments, because I didn't realize you had a pet. Nothing in there made me think you had a pet. She said she talked to the guy and he was like, no, they have a dog. That's why we have the pet fee, because of fur and whatever else. And the girl who cleaned the apartment said she never would have known, because golden doodles don't shed, number one, and because it didn't smell like we had animals. Now, the reason this is important is because the apartment complex, the assistant manager, Anna, when she did the walkthrough without us, she went through the apartment, and even though there was not a single visible stain on top of any carpet whatsoever, felt the need to pull back every single carpet in the apartment and then tell us that there were stains underneath the carpet, not on the padding, not on the top, on the underneath part, which makes absolutely no sense, right? So they tell us that we are going to have to pay $350 to replace these carpets because of these stains that, one, they cannot prove that we did, because I know we didn't, and two, should not be on us anyway, because normal wear and tear in most states is 3 years to 5 years to 7 years, depending. Normal wear and tear is exactly what our apartment complex had, or our apartment itself had. There was no stains, nothing like that. So we should not have had to pay for anything, right? So the issue was the assistant manager did the walk without us, and instead of calling me, emailing me, or waiting around to talk about it, she left and left a sticky note with the other girl who was working in the complex to tell us that everything was fine, just a couple issues with the carpets, and they're only going to charge you for that. So I reached out, and I've read you guys the emails. I reached out to the assistant manager and the manager. Well, the manager was on vacation until today. Now, the assistant manager, her email to me was that there were stains under the carpet, not on the carpet, which is important to note. There was a strong dog odor, which that's also not true, and that it was heavily trafficked. Okay, well, all of these things are inaccurate. So let's move on from that, right? So I email back and I say, I'm not going to talk to anybody until the manager comes back. Then I decided, no, we're going to talk to somebody. And I reached out to corporate. And I told you guys, talking to Kim in corporate on Tuesday that she was going to wait until today, until the manager of the location got back in and was going to call her and speak to her, and they were going to work things out. So she calls me back on Tuesday and she says, hey, listen, I just want to let you know this is what we're doing, and I'll call you on Thursday once I've spoken to the manager of the complex and once we've worked things out. Well, here's what happened. For those of you who are curious, I have an email here from the manager of the apartment complex, and I just want to read it to you. It says, hi, Michelle. I apologize for my delayed response in addressing this and for your frustrations. I am grateful that Kim was able to speak with you in my absence. I have just spoken with Kim now that I am back in the office and provided my input regarding the carpet charges. I am hopeful that we will be able to resolve this for you as a loyal resident to our community. Kim will be reaching out to you shortly, but if I can assist you with anything else, please let me know. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And that's all it said. Then I get a phone call from a private number, and I'm like, that feels inaccurate, because Kim, when she called me before, called me from a Tennessee number, and I saved it. So I'm like, that can't be her. So I didn't answer it. Sure as shit, it was Kim calling from her personal number, which she made private so I wouldn't have her cell phone number, letting me know that she had spoken with the manager of the complex and would really like to talk to me, as opposed to leaving a voicemail to let me know what they had decided, what they had figured out. And my brain is going, they're going to do some dumb shit and they're going to try to make me pay, and this is going to end up going to court. I'm fully prepared to go to court because, again, it is the principle of it all. A $500 pet fee in the beginning and $35 a month, and you're trying to tell me with stains that you cannot even attempt to say are ours, because you have no proof that it was ours, that you want to charge me $350 for these. What was the pet fee for, if not to replace carpets? What is the $35 a month fee for, if not to go towards carpet replacement if necessary? This is like a whole greedy thing for apartment complexes. That's my personal opinion. We lived in apartment complexes a decade ago. Oh, no, sorry. I'm doing math really stupidly in my brain. 18 years ago, almost 17 years ago, when my husband and I first got together, before we ever got married, we had an apartment together. We lived in an apartment complex and everything was fine then. When we moved out, we got all of our security deposit back. We didn't have an animal, but we did have a baby. Not that babies' smells, stick to carpet or anything weird like that. I'm not quite sure. And it's not like baby made stains on the carpets, but either way, we got all of our security deposit back at the end of that one. And there was no issues, nothing whatsoever. So between then and the last apartment we were in, we assumed, and that's, the problem, it happens when you assume, right? We assumed that it was going to be the same kind of thing. We've been with these people for over 3 years. We talk to the manager, the assistant, and everybody else all the time, really good standings. And I'm pretty positive that the manager, if not the assistant, I'm pretty sure the assistant as well, knows exactly what we do, that we have YouTube channels. So this email, I was like, okay, this could go one of two ways. Either they have decided to eat the cost, which technically they're not, because they did get my pet fee right in the beginning, or they're going to try to, I thought they were going to try to say, we'll reimburse you for the money that you spent to clean the carpets, and we'll only charge you for the difference between what it cost to replace the carpets. So like $100 and some change dollars, which I still was going to say no to. We were going to go to small claims court. If they came back and said they were going to charge me a single penny, we were going to go to small claims court, because there are probably so many people moving out of apartment complexes that are getting completely screwed over by said complexes with either their security deposits, their pet fees, whatever else. And too many people, I feel, are just like, listen, this is such a hassle. I don't want to do it. It's a huge pain in my ass. Just pay the money and keep it going. It is what it is. And I understand why a lot of people do that, but I'm petty and I'm not willing to let somebody play with my money like that. So standing on principle, if this phone call with Kim had gone in a different direction than it ended up going, we would be in court, and that would be the next video here. But Kim calls and Kim says, hey, Michelle, just want to let you know I've spoken with the manager, and what we've decided to do, and the way she phrased this, I wasn't a fan of. She said, we've decided to eat the cost of the carpet. Well, number one, as you should totally be the one replacing the carpet. That should not be on me. But two, when you phrase it as eat the cost of the carpet, it makes it sound like you're doing me a favor. You're doing me a favor by eating the cost of the carpet. It's been over 3 years. Normal wear and tear is on the apartment complex according to laws, like at least here in Florida. I don't know about wherever else, but normal wear and tear for carpets, for walls, for door handles, I looked up all different kinds of things. That is on the apartment complex themselves. That is not on the renter. It's not on you. It's not on me. So for her to phrase it the way she did, of we're going to eat the cost of it, uncalled for, personal opinion. And it's just sometimes the phrasing of things, the tone was fine. There was no problem with the tone. That was fine. But it was the phrasing of it that I was like, listen, ma'am, you're not doing me a favor. You're really doing yourself a favor by owning up to the fact that those stains are not from me. Now, she didn't say any of that. She didn't say anything along those lines. All she said was, I've spoken with the manager and we have decided that the best course of action, because you have been such a loyal resident, and we really want to make sure that you have how did she phrase it? She phrased it at the end like she hates that this leaves a bad taste in my mouth for the complex, since we were such loyal renters for 3 years. However she phrased it was along those lines. She was like, we want to do what's right, and so we're going to eat the cost of it. And again, she didn't mention anything about the fact that there were no actual stains from us or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I stuck to my guns. I sent in pictures and everything else, and I had the comments from all of you guys. I have so many comments that I had saved in a file folder that if we were going to court, I was about to pull all those comments out and be like, it's happened to this person here. It's happened to this person here. It's happened to this person here. This is the law. This is the law. This is the law. Where's this proof? Where's this proof? Where's this proof? I was ready, y'all, like file folder of stuff ready to go. But thankfully, the apartment complex is not as stupid as the assistant manager of said apartment complex, and the corporation decided that they were going to do the right thing and eat the cost of the carpet. Therefore, and we get our full security deposit back, as we should have. So yes, I'm out a $500 pet fee, but I knew that at the beginning. I was thinking pet deposit. I looked at the paperwork again. It said pet fee. That is what it is, which still should go to place the carpets, but that's anyway. So we get our $500 deposit back. We are not paying for the carpet. And Kim, she said, I hope the rest of your 2025 is great, which I thought was interesting. It made me wonder if maybe the manager of the complex mentioned YouTube, because my very last video on here that I uploaded yesterday mentioned 2025. And for her to bring that up, maybe I'm just hearing things or putting things together that don't belong together. But I was like, that's very interesting, because she was very, very nice. And of course she's corporate, so she has to be nice, or she should be nice if they want to have good employees, right? You can't have a corporate employee who's a raging bitch to people, because that's not going to, do well or help your brand at all. But she was very nice about it. And she said, we don't want you leaving. I hate that it put a bad taste in your mouth. You were happy there for years, obviously, because you kept renewing your lease. And now for it to end this way, I hate it. And, but I want you to know you guys are always welcome back here. I know you bought a new house, but you're always welcome back if for any reason that's a route you need to go in the future. Or if you have friends and family, they are always welcome. And we'd love you to still recommend our complex or our company to friends and family. And I'm like, I hear you. And listen, I was going to tell you guys the apartment complex if they did not do the right thing. And I was up and down on this, because I fully understand what that could mean for that complex. Number one, like that specific setting of one, and the phone calls and stuff that would come in. But I also had to think about the fact is, if I mention the complex itself, is that something legally that's going to bite me in the ass? And I don't think so. But because they've done the right thing, it does kind of take that weight off my shoulders of going, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned the complex itself. But there are a couple people who know exactly what it is and where it is. Hopefully y'all don't call them, or if you do, be nice, whatever. But at the end of the day, corporate did what was right. I don't know if the manager had anything to do with it, if it was her idea or if it was Kim's idea. But we're not paying for the carpets, and to me, that's what matters. Stand on your principles, people. Yes, it may be uncomfortable. Yes, it may make you feel some kind of way, kind of bitchy, kind of whatever. But at the end of the day, whatever you're standing on that principle for, whether it's money, whether it's, I don't want to say pride, but maybe sometimes that, or if it's the difference between right and wrong, or if you're standing on principle for somebody else, it is worth it in the end, no matter if it goes your way or not, knowing that you didn't give in to something that feels kind of like a bully, and that you were able to kind of stand tall, I think is a good thing. So I'm proud of myself for standing by everything that I said I was going to do, sticking to my principles on it all, and not giving in and just being like, fine, just, you know what, if y'all take the money, it's not a big deal. Because at the end of the day, it is a big deal. I had some people in the comments yesterday who were like, oh my God, I can't believe you live in that house, that bathroom, and you're bitching about $5 eggs. How do you think people are able to afford the things they're able to afford? You make concessions and you make changes and you save here and there. The second I have to start spending more and more money out there, it makes it harder to afford the things we do have. So I need people to understand that the trying to make sure that they did not charge me for something I didn't do, number one, is principle. Number two is, why would I want to throw away money that they don't deserve to have that I could use to pay bills in a new house? Like, hello, make that make sense. Anyways, I love y'all immensely. I appreciate everything you guys did for me in the comment section with lawyers that you sent me, with links that you sent me to legal laws, whether it's in Florida or renter laws in general, or even your stories that you shared with me, because not only did y'all help me with this, I'm sure you've helped each other in the comment section. Because again, this is a community. It's all about helping each other and doing what we can to ensure that we all understand kind of what's going on, no matter what the topic happens to be. So I appreciate y'all for letting me bring this to your attention, letting me have these little baby meltdowns, if you will, over this complete idiocracy of the apartment complex. And I'm very thankful that it worked out the way that it should have worked out. I don't know what kind of video this would have been if they had tried to say that they were going to charge me. I would not be smiling, or if I was, it was one of those crazy eye smiles, you know, a liberal smile. I don't know what to call that. Anyway, I love y'all immensely. Thank you again. And we're done with the apartment. Wipe my hands clean of it. Finished. Happy about it.